Welcome to Journey JavaFX. This is the episode number 4 of Season 1. We are going to talk about the project high-level design. The final goal of this episode is more like better understand what exactly we are doing here for Season 1. Alright, let's start it right away. Alright, this is the notes I just prepared. The ultimate goal of this project is publishing the exact work we do in each episode, so audience will be able to access to it without any restriction. All right. Excuse me. So I lay out the high-level design stuff. In the end of this kind of a project, the application we are going to build should be able to move all the nodes and work files, whatever I think is not necessary, to a public folder. Right now, I'm utilizing my Google Drive public shared folder. So I believe, in theory, everyone has my documentation URL, should be able to access all the work we do in every episode. Okay, here comes the high-level design. If we want to do something, we must have an input and we must have an output, right? We have talked about the output, so now it's focusing on the input part. The input part is kind of, focusing on our IntelliJ working folder, which is the source folder, something like this. It includes all the files we coded in each episode, including the Java class file and also the FSML file, right? All those. So yeah, on high level it's like that. Now we are going to talk about more detail about what exactly we are going to save in that shared folder. Okay, so now I'm going to focus on this part. The first one is the note for each episode. It's more like something I prepare in this area. Looks like a Word editor, but it's dumbed down one. It's not as powerful as a Microsoft Word, but it will do the work then. So here is the notes. It's more like we got dump whatever the content inside of this little window to a file. Okay, so it's more like we are using a GUI to save whatever we want to save, right? The other one is the files. The files, we are focusing on the files only without the subfolder. We create a dedicated package or folder called JavaFX in our IntelliJ, but on your end, you can do it in this way. To follow up in this season, I recommend you to do it, but in the future, if you have your own stuff to build, it's unnecessary to follow this pattern, even though this is kind of the best practice. But we are just making a thing to help us. We do whatever way we feel comfortable, right? Because the fundamental idea is we are making a thing to help ourselves, right? So for this project design, I just focus on the files, ignore all those subfolders. And to achieve this, we have a few task lists, right? So what exactly the program will do to make all of this happen? So the first question will be like construct subfolder name for each episode, for each specific episode, right? So I can show you on my end how it looks like. Looks like this. The in part is our IntelliJ project folder, and the out part is something like this. But on your end, when you're looking at it, it should be looks like this, but rendered in a browser, right? I'm utilizing Google Drive. So we see all those kind of subfolders representing each episode. It has a prefix. It has the episode number. So where all of this coming from? It's more like on the UI design, I design a in. It means this is the source, and we have out. This is the final output. and the value of this two, I throw in two text field. It's more like the text box, you know. I'm utilizing this, so it means in the future when we have a season 2, I'm able to change it, right? Instead of you know, go back to the program, change the value for this in and out, but instead I can just do it on the UI, right? This will kind of, you know, we are outsourcing the information we need in a program to another place that we have much easier like access to it. Make sense? And same idea applies to the out. So we're gonna utilizing this text field for this subfolder thing, right? So then we are going to yeah, let me put some notes. Objects or controls we are going to work on. So the first one will be label, right? Second one will be a text field. You can call it a text box, but I prefer call it text field because this is the kind of official name it's given by JavaFX. I want to keep the name all constant to minimize the confusing part, right? Okay, so we have two objects to work on. That is our to-do list. And then after we figure out this kind of subfolder name for each episode, what are we gonna do? It's more like, you know, we need a button to create this subfolder name, right? We need a button to create it, and when it's created, it's gonna be given a name, right? Where does name come from? I created two more text field. One is called a prefix. It's more like, you know, this journey JavaFX thing coming from the value of this text field, right? Because for now I'm thinking like, you know, maybe in the future I have other subjects to talk about, then I can utilize this prefix thing to name all those new content stuff. So then the on user end, you will be able to see, okay, you can tell based on the name, right? If you are looking for JavaFX stuff, looking for it, and then yeah, if you are watching whichever episode, just looking for the number. We are using the second text field as a index. It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of a unique ID, right? So then we will be able to easily to find which folder or files you are going to need for which episode. Make sense? All right, and then the new button will be able to utilizing all these four text fields to construct the subfolder. Makes sense, right? And another one I can think about is like, you know, for example, right now we are working on season 4. Just for demonstration purpose, I'm gonna say S1E5 to actually show you how this or what this new button will do, right? So for now, when I do a refresh, nothing happened. We have only 4 of them. And then when we click on new, I'm expecting a subfolder like this to pop up, right? Let's try it. Yeah, this is kind of fancy message pop-up window I added in the program. We will go through all of them, don't worry about it. So for now, when I come back here, you see we got a S1E5, right? Inside of this, nothing happened because I haven't saved anything yet. But again, go back to episode 4, I add a task. It's more like a button to insert a template that will better lay out our notes or talking points for each episode. It's more like I want to keep my stuff constant, not constant at, you know, coding level or whatever. It's also constant at presentation level. By saying that, I mean, you know, for this kind of title and structure, whatever stuff, including the format, I want it to keep constant. I don't want to say, you know, in this episode, I'm using this big of font. In the other one, I use like this small, right? So, yeah, it's kind of the requirement I made for myself, right? So I want my stuff keep constant, including the design level, the look level, whatever the level. right? I'm just kind of yeah, that's part of my OCD thing. Yeah, and to do this, I want a button to insert a template, you know, something like this. It's more like, say, for now we are starting a whole new episode. When I click on S1E5, nothing here, but I want the template. Say, click on the template. All right, here we go. Now we have the starting, we have the ending, we have all those necessary portions, right? Yeah, so then I can just override or erase whatever is here to add some new notes, right? Yeah, even the title, whatever. And then now when I click on the save button, it will come to our next point. This is the button, and it's save notes from UI to a HTML file, which is gonna be, you know, saved to a selected episode folder, right? It's more like for episode number 5, I want to save my notes into this folder instead of all the rest, right? This is the main idea. I want to keep my stuff well organized, right? So for now, we can see nothing inside of this season 1 episode 5. But once we put something here, let's say welcome to whatever, and we have some goal that's awesome, right? And we're gonna say notes 1, notes 2, notes 3, right? So in this way, I'm expecting when I click on this save button, all of this will go to our subfolder, and also along with the, you know, the IntelliJ files. But we haven't touched those files. For now, is only a simulation. So now I'm going to click on save. Once we go back to the folder, we can see, all right, we have a dashboard.html, right? If I open it, it should show exactly same thing as the one we were looking at in this kind of, you know, like dashboard. Exactly same, right? Yeah, and we have the, you know, season1.fxml, which is the one we are working here, right? Exact file. And the second file is the Java class.java file, which is this one, right? So this is the whole idea, say what we are going to build in this season. Yeah, we finished like demonstration of how, say, you know, what's gonna happen, copy files, and only covering about 2 tasks, right? These 2 with the save button, and then a refresh button to clean up our UI. I'm kind of, you know, I like my UI has this function, say, you know, how about we just clean up everything, you know, just make some space. All right, it's just my personal thing. So up to now, we are going to add one more stuff, text field, and we need this list view. I believe it's called list view in JavaFX. Just to be precise, let me open the scene builder. The control list, yeah, list view, exactly. Okay, let me go back. List view, and we also need to working on the buttons, right? Button. What else? Oh, the last one is this kind of the board thing, the word editor thing. This one is called HTML editor. All right, these are all the components we are going to need. We are going to work on, and of course they are needed for this kind of project. All right, I hope you have a better understanding of what we are going to do, and yeah, if you are interested in those kind of things, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Thank you.